You know that incredibly frustrating feeling when you buy a massive jigsaw puzzle?
Oh, I know exactly where this is going.
Right.
Yep.
The picture on the box is this stunning landscape,
Yeah.
and you spend a whole weekend, carefully sorting the edges and matching all the colors.
Just putting in all that quiet, tedious work.
Exactly. And then right as you go to finish the dead center of the puzzle, you realize the people who made it just left out about a dozen crucial pieces.
You're just sitting there staring at a jagged hole on your table.
Yeah, and the border is perfect. You did all the right work, but the final picture is just completely broken. You literally cannot finish the job.
Which is such an awful, sinking feeling.
It really is. And I've been thinking that feeling of doing all the right work but getting an incomplete result, well, that is exactly what so many of us feel every single morning.
When we scoop that protein powder into a shaker bottle.
Yes. We look at the label, we see 25 grams of protein in these big, bold letters, and we just assume we have the whole picture.
We think, well, I drank the shake, so my muscles are definitely recovering.
Right, like my health goals are totally on track. But then you still hit this wall of afternoon fatigue, or you stay sore for days.
Like your body is just standing still.
Exactly. And I always wonder why we so easily ignore those body signals. We just drink the powder and think we fixed it.
I think we do it because it's easier to trust the label than to listen to our gut. But when you strip away the branding, a huge number of those tubs are actually missing those crucial center puzzle pieces.
And if those pieces are missing, your body just physically cannot finish the repair job.
It just stalls out. It wants to heal, but it doesn't have the tools.
I really want to talk about this today. This whole deep dive is about that quiet contradiction. Because it feels like the protein powder on our kitchen counter is like the most misunderstood thing in our daily routine.
It truly is. We buy into this massive marketing machine instead of looking at what our bodies actually need to thrive.
So let's just gently peel that back today.
Yeah.
Because I think most of us don't buy protein based on what our cells need. We buy it based on an identity.
Oh, completely. It's totally tribal at this point.
Right. Like if you look at how whey protein is sold, it leans heavily on that aggressive gym culture.
Yeah, the giant black tubs with neon letters. It feels very loud.
Very loud. And then on the complete opposite side, you have plant protein brands leaning into this very calm, earthy look.
Green bags, words like clean or natural.
Yeah, and it creates this quiet message that dairy is dirty and you're either a hardcore gym rat or you're this enlightened, healthy person.
But the truth is, your body just does not care about your lifestyle identity.
You can't read the marketing slogans on the bag.
No, not at all. Your gut only recognizes the basic building blocks, the amino acids.
Which are just the tiny pieces that build everything, right?
Exactly. Those are the literal pieces your body uses to repair tissue or balance your mood and heal burnout. And your body judges every single meal based on two very quiet things.
Which are?
How much of it can actually cross into your blood and how complete the puzzle is once it gets there.
Okay, let's pause on that second part, the complete puzzle. Because this brings us right back to those missing pieces we talked about.
Yes, the missing pieces change everything.
So I was looking into this, and there is one specific amino acid that seems to just change the whole game. Leucine.
Leucine is arguably the most vital player in this entire story.
Can you break that down for me? Like, why is that one so special?
Well, most of the building blocks are just passive. You can think of them like bricks waiting on a lawn. They don't do anything on their own.
They just sit there waiting to be used.
Right, but leucine is different. It acts as an active trigger. When you get enough of it in one sitting, it actually flips an internal switch.
Like turning on the power in a dark house.
Exactly. It turns on the muscle repair process.
I always think of it like a bouncer at a very exclusive club.
Oh, that's a perfect way to picture it.
Like the club is your body healing itself. And you can have 50 guests, all the other puzzle pieces just standing out on the sidewalk ready to go in.
But if that specific bouncer isn't there to open the velvet rope, nobody is getting inside.
The whole process is just locked down. And this is where whey and plant powders suddenly look very different, right?
They do, because whey protein naturally has a massive amount of that leucine bouncer. It almost guarantees the door is going to open every single time you drink it.
And it absorbs really well, too.
It absorbs incredibly well. The body takes it in with almost zero waste.
But then when we look at standard plant powders, like pea or rice, they naturally carry much lower amounts of that specific bouncer.
And their absorption levels just drop.
But like a lot of it just passes through your system.
Yeah, often fermenting in the gut, which causes all that terrible bloating people feel.
Okay, but wait. I have to ask about this. Because if plant powders are missing the bouncer and they don't absorb well,
Yeah.
how do those massive, healthy vegan athletes even exist?
That is the perfect question to ask.
Right. Because if their food is missing the spark, how are they building so much strength?
Well, it proves that plant protein isn't broken. It's just that you have to approach it a bit differently.
Right, a different strategy.
Exactly. Those healthy plant-based athletes are not just drinking a single scoop of plain rice powder.
They'd never get enough of the bouncer that way.
Right. They are using very clever blends. We actually know that you can completely hack plant protein to close this gap.
I love the idea of hacking it. How does that actually work?
So when people test this in real life, if you just take a plain plant blend off the shelf, the door only opens halfway. The body gets a little bit of repair, but it's sluggish.
But if you tweak it,
If you simply add extra free leucine into that plant blend until it matches the amount in dairy,
it opens the door fully.
it opens completely. The plant powder works exactly as well as the whey.
Oh, wow. So the label plant-based doesn't just mean it's a perfect health tool right out of the box.
No, it is often just an incomplete tool until you pair it with the right parts.
That makes so much sense. It really reminds me of a friend of mine, James. He's in his 20s, working hard on his fitness, and he was drinking this plain rice powder every single day.
Let me guess, he felt stuck.
Completely stuck. He was putting in all this heavy work, but he felt so bloated, and he just wasn't getting any stronger. He was so frustrated.
Because he was trapped in that gap. He didn't have enough of the spark.
Exactly. And once he realized that, he didn't start eating meat or dairy. He just swapped his plain rice powder for a blend of pea and rice together.
Which is such a simple, gentle change.
It was. And within a month, his energy came back, the daily bloating just vanished, and he felt strong again.
He just finally gave his body the whole puzzle it was begging for.
Right. He didn't push harder. He just listened to what was missing.
And that's the real lesson for anyone who prefers plant powders. You really shouldn't rely on just one single source. You need to combine them.
Like mixing pea and rice or pea and hemp.
Yes. The pieces that are missing in the pea are found in the rice. They finish each other's puzzle perfectly.
That is so cool. Though there is one plant that kind of does it all on its own, right? Soy.
Soy is the big exception, yes. Its natural profile is very close to dairy. It opens the door all by itself.
Okay, so if plant powders can be fixed so easily, why are so many people out there so terrified of whey protein?
Oh, the fear out there is so intense right now.
It is. You spend 5 minutes online and someone is telling you that dairy powder will wreck your hormones or cause awful health issues.
It's a very loud panic, and it almost always traces back to a deep misunderstanding about one specific hormone in our bodies.
Which one is that?
It's called a growth factor. People see the word growth and they immediately panic, thinking it causes bad things to grow.
Right, like a fast track to disease.
Yes. But this growth factor is mainly made by your liver, and it is absolutely essential for healing tissue and keeping your bones strong.
You literally need it to live and repair.
Exactly. But the internet gurus point the finger strictly at whey powder, claiming it causes these massive, dangerous spikes in that hormone.
But that's taking it totally out of context, right?
Yeah, completely out of context. When you look at how the body actually works, it's just eating a lot of protein in general that causes a tiny, gentle rise in that hormone.
So even if you ate a huge amount of beans, it would happen too.
Yes, because your body is actively building tissue. It is not some evil trait of dairy.
And we really should talk about how small that hormone shift actually is. Because the way people scream about it, you think your body's going crazy.
It's a microscopic shift.
Yeah, I saw numbers on this, and the change is so small, it's hard to even measure.
Think of it like adding one single cup of water to a huge swimming pool.
Right. Technically, the water level went up, but it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Compared to the normal hormone waves you get from just living your life or dealing with real stress, it is basically nothing.
It's just wild how a tiny detail gets turned into a viral fear campaign.
It's because nuance doesn't get clicks. Whey is toxic gets clicks.
It makes me think of Michael. He's this guy in his 40s, and he had been using dairy protein for years and felt great.
But then he started scrolling on his phone late at night.
Yes. Doom scrolling. He read all these scary posts about dairy hormones, and he got so anxious that he almost threw all his powder in the trash.
Even though it was working fine for him.
Right. And meanwhile, he was sleeping maybe 5 hours a night. His work stress was through the roof. His body was just completely exhausted.
So his whole system was inflamed from the stress.
Exactly. But he was blaming the protein powder for feeling terrible, when the real problem was his lack of sleep and heavy burnout.
which is so common. The sheer anxiety he felt from reading those posts was doing more harm to his body, just pumping out cortisol, than his daily shake ever could.
It's so true. Once he actually stepped back, put his phone down, and just started sleeping properly again, all his body aches vanished.
And I assume he kept using his whey powder.
He did. And he was totally fine.
That's why we have to look at the big picture rather than zeroing in on one single fear.
Okay, so if neither whey nor a good plant blend is bad for you, how do you actually choose what to use?
It really comes down to listening to your own body, specifically your gut feelings and your age.
Let's start with age, because I feel like no one talks about how our needs change as we get older.
It's a quiet shift. As you move into your 30s and 40s, your cells actually get a bit stubborn.
What does that feel like?
Well, when you're 20, a tiny amount of food is enough to trigger that healing response. Your cells are wide awake and listening.
But later on?
Later on, they need a much louder knock on the door. They need a lot more of that leucine spark just to wake up and do the same repair work.
So our bodies just become less fuel efficient.
That is exactly it. You need a richer fuel to get the exact same healing that you used to get so easily.
That makes total sense. Like my friend Sarah. She's in her mid-30s working crazy hours, and she bought a plain pea powder because she thought it was the absolute cleanest choice.
But she was probably feeling awful.
She was. She was always tired. Her muscles ached for days after a light workout. She felt like she was failing.
Because her stubborn cells weren't getting a loud enough knock to start repairing.
Yes. And once she learned about that, she didn't quit her plant-based habits. She just switched to a blend that had extra spark added to it.
And I bet her energy came right back.
Almost overnight. Her soreness dropped, her mood lifted. She just matched her food to what her body actually needed in that stage of life.
That is the kind of gentle self-care we really need. Listening to what works today, not what worked 10 years ago.
And then there's the gut factor. Because so many people say, I drink a shake and my stomach instantly blows up like a balloon.
Gut health is so vital, but the funny thing is it's almost never the actual protein causing the bloat.
Really? Then what is it?
If you're using whey and feeling bloated, it's almost always the lactose, the natural dairy sugar.
Oh, that makes sense. So how do you fix that?
You just find a version that has the lactose filtered out. It's much gentler on your stomach and stops the bloating.
But what if someone is using a plant powder and they get that same awful stomach pain? There's no dairy sugar in a pea.
Right. In that case, the body is usually struggling to break down the dense plant fibers. Plants have natural defenses that can bind things up in your gut and cause a lot of gas.
Which feels terrible. So what's the gentle fix for that?
Fermented plant powders are amazing for this.
Wait, like fermented foods, like tempeh.
Exactly. The fermentation process uses good bacteria to break down all those harsh fibers before you even drink it.
So it's basically pre-digested for you.
Yes, it does all the hard work so your stomach doesn't have to panic. It is so soothing for the gut.
I love that so much, outsourcing the digestion. But we've spent all this time talking about powder in a plastic tub.
And powder is just a tiny part of life.
Exactly. It's just an extra tool. Having the perfect powder does literally nothing if your actual daily routine is a chaotic mess.
You cannot outdrink a broken lifestyle. We have to look at how you actually live.
So let's talk about real food, because nothing beats real, whole meals.
Whole foods are the absolute foundation, things like eggs, for instance. Their natural profile is flawless for healing the body.
What about Greek yogurt? I hear that's great.
Oh, it is a powerhouse. Because it naturally gives you a quick spark to start the healing, but then it also digests very slowly.
So it feeds your body for hours.
Yes. And it has all those active cultures that calm your gut down.
And for anyone who loves plant foods, lentils are incredible. They have the exact pieces that rice is missing.
You mix lentils and rice, and you have a perfect plate.
And I always try to include salmon, too. Not just for the fuel, but the healthy fats really help lower cortisol and quiet down the mind.
Which is huge for mental health. And pumpkin seeds before bed. They have natural magnesium, which gently tells your nervous system it's time to sleep.
See, that's the beauty of real food. A powder is just one isolated thing. But a warm meal carries all these hidden nutrients that tell your body it is safe to heal.
It builds trust with your body.
But we also have to stop doing the things that break that trust.
We do. There are so many common traps we fall into out of sheer convenience.
Like those ultra-processed energy bars.
Oh, those are the worst offenders. People think they're being so healthy grabbing a bar on the go.
But it's basically a candy bar in a shiny wrapper.
Yes. Heavily processed, loaded with fake sugars that just completely irritate the gut. You end up absorbing way less goodness because your stomach is so upset by the fillers.
And another trap is just leaning on one single food all the time,
Mm.
like only eating plain oats every single morning. Just creates a quiet deficit over time.
Variety is how we heal. And spacing it out matters, too. So many people skip eating all day because they are too busy working, and then they try to cram a massive meal in right before bed.
Which just stresses the body out even more.
It does. A gentle, steady rhythm throughout the day keeps your energy stable and stops burnout.
And we have to mention alcohol, especially drinking right after you worked out or had a highly stressful day.
That is such a harsh block on your healing.
How does it actually block it?
Well, when you have a drink, it chemically interrupts the repair signals in your body. It's like pressing the gas pedal to speed up your healing, but then yanking the emergency brake at the exact same time.
So the bouncer gets confused and locks the door.
Exactly. You just waste all that good effort.
But honestly, out of all the things that sabotage our health, the absolute biggest one is just the guilt of resting, the chronic lack of sleep.
Oh, lack of sleep will ruin the best habits in the world.
Because we live in a culture that praises working late and ignoring our tired signals.
Think of your body repairing itself like a busy kitchen in a restaurant.
Okay.
The food you eat represents the beautiful, fresh ingredients being dropped off at the back door.
Right.
But if you are constantly sleep deprived and your cortisol is peaking from endless stress, your kitchen is just on fire.
The chef is crying. The stoves are broken.
Exactly. The staff is panicking. It literally does not matter if you just bought the most expensive, perfect food in the world.
The meal is not getting cooked.
No. Poor sleep physically blocks your body from using the food you give it. Your body is too busy surviving to actually rebuild.
That hits so deep. Because I think so many of us are constantly searching for the perfect powder or the perfect diet rule to fix the fact that we are just exhausted.
We try to buy energy in a tub instead of just giving ourselves permission to rest.
That is the real mystery solved right there.
Wow.
So if you're listening to this right now, trying to figure out what to do next, it really isn't about choosing a side in a marketing war.
No, it has nothing to do with tribal identities.
It just comes down to knowing what your body is quietly asking for, giving it the full puzzle, ensuring it has that spark to begin the work, and just honoring where you are in life right now.
Tailoring it to your own physical truth. If you're getting older, give yourself a richer fuel. If your gut hurts, be gentle with it and choose softer foods.
Because true health isn't some finish line you cross in your 20s and then never think about again.
It really isn't. It is an ongoing, gentle conversation with yourself every single day.
Adjusting as your stress goes up and down, as your sleep changes, as the years go by.
But now you actually know what to listen for. You don't have to be afraid of the loud headlines anymore.
You can just look at your own habits with a lot more kindness and understanding.
Knowledge is only beautiful when it brings you peace and changes how you live.
And that brings me back to that huge jigsaw puzzle sitting on the table.
The one with the missing pieces.
Yeah. If your body is constantly, quietly putting itself back together, piece by piece, based strictly on what you give it, it makes you look at your routine differently.
It really does.
But it also makes me wonder something deeper. If we turn every single meal, every single shake, into a rigid math problem, if we obsess over getting the exact right spark every time,
Yeah.
are we just losing the simple human joy of eating? Does the intense pressure of micromanaging our health actually create the exact stress that ruins our digestion in the first place?
That is a very real trap.
Like, are we so focused on finishing the perfect puzzle that we've totally stopped enjoying the picture? It's just something gentle to mull over the next time you hold that shaker bottle in your hand.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Wellness Geeks has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same gentle way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life, and it helps Wellness Geeks reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the join button right next to the Wellness Geeks logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Wellness Support Circle. Your support helps honest health awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Wellness Geeks moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.